You ever been in a place so beautiful it makes you reflect on everything you've survived? That's exactly where I'm at right now. Literally and emotionally. I'm staying at my cousin's spot for a wedding, and y'all, this place doesn't give apartment. It gives luxury escape from the nonsense. But while I was soaking in all this beauty, something hit me. And what I'm about to tell you is not just about a room with tall ceilings. It's about your elevation. Quick moment of humor. Why do fancy apartments always have art pieces that look like they've got secrets? Like, are you watching me or am I watching you, Picasso? But real talk, something spiritual got downloaded into me while walking these long hallways. And yes, I took notes because let's be real, I forget everything unless it's written down. I did this online game that said, pick 3 words and that's what's coming your way. Sounds silly, right? But I picked protection, manifestation, harmony, and instantly it was like, boom, confirmation. Those aren't just words. Those are spiritual headlines for your life right now. Someone watching this is entering one of the most powerful, peaceful, and prosperous seasons of their life. I'm talking about the kind of glow-up that silences rooms and makes the gossipers choke on their own drama. But here's the kicker. The same people who laughed at your struggle, the ones who disappeared when life got heavy, yeah, they're about to spin the block. Not because they've changed, but because your light is too loud to ignore now. You ever notice how some folks only believe in you after you've done all the heavy lifting? They had front row seats to your pain but chose to scroll past your healing. Now, they're gearing up to act like they've been Team You from day one. Spoiler alert, they weren't. Some of them said, I always knew you'd make it. No you didn't, Cheryl. You knew I had potential, but you also bet against me. And it's not arrogance to call that out, it's awareness. Because if you don't acknowledge where you've been, you'll lose track of where you're going. They didn't expect divine protection to step in like it did. They didn't expect the tables to flip while they were still laughing. But now, they're watching silently, wondering how you didn't fold. The truth is, they saw your pain. They just didn't expect you to turn it into power. They saw your struggle, but they didn't know it was planting seeds for your purpose. You helped others heal while you were still bleeding. You gave love while receiving betrayal. You prayed when nothing seemed to move. That's not weakness, that's spiritual weightlifting. That's why the manifestations that are about to hit your life aren't random. They're earned. The peace that's returning to your atmosphere isn't luck, it's alignment. And let's talk about that word, harmony. It's not just about peaceful vibes and wind chimes. It's about internal clarity and external boundaries. You're finally stepping into a space where your energy isn't being stolen by things that drain you. This next season is about safety. Not just physical, but emotional, spiritual, energetic. You're protected. That inner calm you're feeling lately, that's not apathy, it's alignment. But here's the cautionary tale. Not everyone who claps deserves a seat at your table. Some are clapping because they're hoping to distract you long enough to sneak back in. Let's not play that game, okay? If someone was removed from your life, it wasn't a glitch, it was protection. You don't need to feel guilty for growing out of circles that kept you small. This new level of peace requires new levels of discipline. Your breakthrough wasn't built to be shared with people who didn't help you build it. Don't rewrite history just because someone sends you a "Hey stranger" text at 2 a.m. You're not here to prove anything to anyone. You're here to honor the version of yourself that kept going, when no one clapped, when no one noticed, when even you were questioning everything. This season isn't about revenge. It's about rising in silence and letting the results speak. Your story is becoming proof that perseverance always pays off, just not always on your timeline. So keep showing up for yourself, keep protecting your peace, and remember this: your enemies aren't just watching, they're witnessing. And there's a difference. You weren't crazy. You were never weak. You were just becoming. And what's coming next? Let's just say, your table is set. Let them watch, let them wonder, but never let them back in. And now repeat this prayer with me. Dear God, today I rise with reverence for the sacredness of my energy. I declare it loud and clear. My energy is holy, not to be wasted, depleted, or dimmed for anyone who cannot respect its divine nature. I honor every step that led me to this moment. The painful endings, the silent battles, the deep soul lessons that sculpted me into someone wiser and stronger. My journey has not been easy, but it has been meaningful. Every tear I shed was watering the roots of the person I am now becoming. I no longer seek to explain my transformation to those who refuse to understand my pain. I no longer minimize myself to fit into spaces I've outgrown. I walk in the awareness that my presence is not ordinary. It is a reflection of survival, rebirth, and sacred growth. I now invoke the light to expose and dissolve every hidden hand working against me, whether in thought, in action, or in silent envy. Let every plot of darkness be unveiled and rendered powerless under the radiance of truth. I am no longer in the season of ignorance. I am aware, awakened, and protected. No slander, manipulation, or passive aggression will confuse me. The masks will fall, and truth will rise. And in that clarity, I will make bold and informed decisions that protect my path. I understand now that not all smiles are genuine, and not all company is meant to stay. Some were sent to delay me, but I choose my peace over their presence. With fierce love for my life, I now speak divine protection over every area of my existence. My purpose is fortified, my peace is untouchable, and my presence is magnetic to goodness and grace. Let those who once whispered my downfall be hushed by the sound of my rising. Their energy no longer reaches me. I rise above the noise. I rise above the drama. I rise above the expectations others tried to place on me. I am protected not by chance but by divine orchestration. The universe moves in my favor because I move in truth. No lower vibration can enter the sacred space I now occupy. I walk in light, guided by an unseen power greater than human intention. I call forth the full manifestation of every seed I've planted in moments of faith, in seasons of struggle, and in hours when no one saw the effort but you, divine creator. Nothing done in love, integrity, and surrender will return void. My patience is birthing blessings. My consistency is drawing miracles into form. Where there was once chaos, there is now a river of harmony flowing back into my life. I restore my mind, my emotions, and my environment to a state of peace and clarity. I release cycles that once held me back: guilt, people-pleasing, self-doubt, and emotional fatigue. They no longer belong in this chapter of my life. I reclaim my joy. I reclaim my boundaries. I reclaim my self-worth. And so, with gratitude in my breath and clarity in my steps, I enter this new chapter of my life. I no longer carry dead weight. I no longer entertain illusions. I choose only what uplifts and nourishes my soul. My boundaries are sacred. They are not walls, but gates to my peace. I bless those I release, but I choose myself. I am protected by divine forces that supersede human plotting. I do not fear the unknown, for I know I am guided. I do not fear loss, for I know nothing meant for me will pass me by. I walk boldly into what's next, with joy, with strength, and with an unstoppable peace that nothing and no one can take from me. And so it is, amen.